So good evening for our next lesson. First of all, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching the classes I've done so far. We've had over 70 views, and for all your many words of encouragement and for your suggestions. As always, I am humbled to provide yoga classes that you benefit from. And many of you have expressed your appreciation of yoga being heightened at the moment, that you've been able to fall back on yoga as the support's intended to be, which is also wonderful. And first of all, before we start, as always, just checking you're in a quiet, warm place where you hopefully won't be disturbed or distracted. And now you're all familiar with following my audio instructions. I'll be a bit more adventurous with this class, though it's still a relatively gentle class. As my technological skills improve, I've started shooting a few videos outside, and hopefully I'll perfect those in the next few days if the weather stays good. So, we'll make a start. So finding your preferred lying down position, soles of the feet on the floor or legs straight out in classic Shavasana relaxation pose. And begin to feel where the body makes contact with the floor. So if the soles of the feet are on the floor, that's where you'll start, with the soles of the feet on the floor. Otherwise the heels and the calves. Feel your back where it makes contact with the floor. Your shoulders, your arms, and your skull. Begin to let all attention drain away. And begin to give yourself permission to relax, with thoughts of becoming still and motionless, calm and steady. Take a moment to find just the right position for you. Building a stable, symmetrical, comfortable space. And use this grounded position to begin to root yourself emotionally and concentrate mentally as well as physically as the mind begins to calm and center. Noticing for the first time, maybe since your last class or today, how your breath is. If it's ragged, a little bit, doesn't matter. Just continue to notice and accept without judging. And the same releasing breath as we did last week. One hand on the tummy, one hand resting on the collarbones, the center of the upper body. And when you feel ready, inhaling. And exhale, open the mouth. And sigh the breath out through the mouth. Taking a few rounds like that, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Feel the expression of that breath work its way from the abdomen up to the collarbones and down as you exhale. Just one more time. And then return to your natural breathing pattern. Not controlling it, not regulating it. Just allowing the breath to flow freely in and to find its own natural rhythm. And as you do that, notice the changing sensations throughout the body that accompany each of your breaths. Stay aware of that now feeling. And let each breath enhance this awareness of you here, now. And when your attention strays, notice and bring it back to that feeling, tone of your breathing body. Each breath enhancing the awareness of you, your breathing body here and now. One more round of breath. And if the soles of the feet are already on the floor, leaving them there. And if they're not, bringing the soles of the feet onto the floor, the knees separated about hip distance apart. And ground down into the feet. And coming up and down to bridge from here, bring the arms up over the head at the same time. So the next time you inhale, gently draw the tummy down so your pelvis tilts forward. Press into the feet. Lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Pelvis up towards the ceiling as your arms come over your head. And exhale, slowly rolling down as the arms come back down to the side of the body. Continuing like that, one inhalation is a complete move. One exhalation is a complete movement. And you might find that each time you come up, maybe the pelvis floats a bit higher up towards the ceiling. Just one more time. And when you finish, leave the feet where they are and bring the arms out level with the shoulders. And twisting from here, just a slight variation that most of you have done before on the classic twist. So in this variation, the next time you exhale, you let your knees drop to the right. But as they do, you turn your head to the right and you lift your right arm up and over and onto your right hand. Then as you inhale, slowly begin to trace your fingers along the inside of your arm and across the chest as your arm comes out to the left and your head turns to the left. And exhale, release. Inhale, bring the knees and the head back to the center, arms level with the shoulders. And the same thing the other side, let the knees drop to the left and at the same time turn the head to the left and bring the right arm this time up and over, down towards your left arm. Inhale, trace your fingers along the inside of the arm, across the chest, open up to the right, looking down your right arm. And exhale, release in that position. Inhale, bring the head back to the center and the knees follow. And let the knees drop to the right, head turns to the right, left arm comes up and over on your exhalation. Inhalation, opening up to the left, left arm level with the shoulder, Head looking down your left arm. And exhale, release in that position. Inhale, head and knees back to the center. Exhale, knees drop to the left, head turns to the left, right arm comes up and over. Trace your fingertips along the inside of the arm, across the front of the chest, open up to your right. Turn your head to the right, look down your right arm. Exhale, releasing. And repeat that 2 more times. So once to the left, and then once right, and once left again. 3 times. Pausing and taking an extra releasing breath in the twist if you feel you want to. There's plenty of time. Next time the knees drop to the left will be the last one. And when you've finished, bring the knees to the chest. And take the knees from side to side. Round and round with the hands resting on the knees. And you can either continue like that, or if you feel your hips and your spine have loosened up sufficiently and are sufficiently loose, then hold both knees in tightly towards the chest. And the next time you exhale, lifting from the back of your head, lift the head up and your forehead comes towards the knees into a ball. Hold here for a few breaths. And then lower the head back to the floor. Now you can have the hands now in the same position, or you can, if you've got more extension, range of extension in your arms, you can hug them around and hold your wrists, or maybe even hold your elbows. Your sacrum may come slightly off the floor. Sacrum, the triangular bit, the bottom of the spine might come slightly off the floor, but that's fine. Keep the head on the floor. And begin to pull your knees in towards your chest if you're not already. And simultaneously, as you draw them into the chest, draw your lower back and your sacrum and your tailbone down towards the floor. So trying to get your back as flat on the floor as you can, creating a deeper stretch in the spine. Hold for a few breaths. And release. Single leg raises, bringing the hands clasped gently behind your right thigh and straightening your right leg to the ceiling. Just pausing for a moment there, allowing the leg to straighten out. And then either leaving the left knee where it is into the chest, or bringing the sole of the left foot onto the floor, or straightening the leg and hovering the left heel above the floor, or bringing the left leg down onto the floor. And then when you're ready, climb the hands up the back of the leg as far as they'll come, up towards your right foot. And allow your weight to melt backwards so that at least probably your lower back is on the floor. Maybe your middle back, maybe your upper back, maybe the shoulders, maybe the head can also get down. Just go with your body. Tighten the quadricep muscles at the front of the thigh. Helps to equalize the stretch with the hamstrings at the back. And extend your heel, your right heel towards the ceiling. And then a slight adjustment here as you hold that position. Spread your toes and press the ball of the big toe away from you. And as you do that, you'll feel there's a slight line, the leg line spirals inward slightly. So the directed more outwards in the direction the leg is pointing. So the ball of the big toe presses away, so your leg line spirals inward slightly. As you hold this position, firmly draw the sacrum and the lower back into the floor. If your shoulder blades are on the floor, flattening them on the floor. If your shoulder blades are off the floor, drawing them in either way. Your chest rounds and your shoulders move back. Whatever position you're in, you're gently easing the leg back over your head. And then retrace your steps. Bringing the right knee back into the chest, lowering the head to the floor if it's not already there, hugging the right knee and straightening your left leg away from you. And then straighten your right leg alongside your left. Noticing the difference in the legs and just waiting for the sensations of stretch to diminish before we do the other side. So when you're ready, bringing both knees back to the chest again. And this time gently clasping behind your left leg and straightening your left leg up towards the ceiling. Just take a breath or two there, just allowing the leg to ease away first before we stretch it a little bit more deeply. And then leave the right knee where it is, or bring the sole of the foot on the floor or straight, the same position as you had before with the other leg. And begin to press the left leg straight, tightening the quadricep muscles, extending the heel towards the ceiling. And then climb up the back of the leg. And then release the weight back. Melt as far back as your flexibility allows. And then the same adjustment that we did last time. Spread your toes and press the ball of the big toe away from you. So you feel your leg line spirals inwards slightly and is directed more outwards in the direction that your leg is pointing. Firmly draw the sacrum down, the lower back into the floor. Flattening your shoulder blades if the head's on the floor, or drawing them in towards the front of the body if they're off the floor. Either way, you feel the chest rounding. And then gently retrace your steps, bringing the head back down onto the floor, bringing the left knee into the chest, straightening the right leg onto the floor, hugging the left knee in, and then straightening your left leg alongside your right. And then bring both knees onto the chest again. And the final movement we're doing lying on the floor is gentle hip opening. So keep the big toes together and allow the knees to separate to the side. And place the palms of your hands on the inner thighs or inside the knees, or if you can get a bit further down, the clasping hold of the shins. Just find the optimum position for you without lifting your lower back off the floor. Use the hands to gently spread the knees apart. Just see how far they'll come your first edge. And refine your alignment here by flattening the sacrum on the floor. Similar movement to what you did before. Move the shoulders towards the floor, the shoulder blades towards the floor. So your chest rounds, and then wriggle the shoulder blades under until they're flat and comfortable on the floor. And then for a minute, we're just going to breathe here. Some of the time you might, or all of the time, you might simply allow the arms and the legs to relax and be passive, using gravity and the gentle weight of the arms to deepen the stretch. Or other times, you ease outwards with your hands, applying a very gentle pressure. So you're gently coaxing the knees towards the floor. You just go with your own body, but relax with the intensity. If there's an intensity there you've created, relax with that intensity. Immerse yourself in the flow of the breath. Immerse yourself in the sensations that you're experiencing. And then use your hands to gently ease your knees back together. And making other movements you feel you need to, and coming up to a sitting position, and then onto all fours. So checking your all fours table position. Just checking that the knees are below the hips. And your elbows are above your wrists, and your shoulders are above your elbows. Straight line, perpendicular down from the shoulders. Spread the hands, middle finger pointing forward. And we'll start with a couple of rounds of our kneeling sun salutation that we did last week, and then moving on into standing sun salutations. Remember the whole movement in these kneeling positions. The whole movement is the whole of an inhale or the whole of an exhale. On your next inhalation, gently tilting the pelvis, and the head comes up, and you come into up cat, also called cow. As you exhale, you draw your tummy in, you round your back, you come into down cat, gentle pressure on the hands. Stretch the legs behind you and inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or knees, thighs, and tummy. Inhale to cobra. Don't worry if your breath is different, because we're going to wait when we get back to child's pose anyway. Exhale back to child's pose. And take a few breaths there. So if your whole breath takes a little bit longer than my count, just go with your breath. And we pause a moment in this extended child's pose position with the bottom back towards the heels so everyone catches up before we start again. On your next inhalation, come onto all fours again and gently arch the back, coming into up cat. Happy cat. Exhale, draw the tummy down, draw the chin in, round the back, press gently into the hands, press the upper back towards the ceiling. Stretch the legs behind you, inhale to plank. Exhale down to the floor, knees, chest and chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to child's pose. One more in your own time so you can, without my instruction, concentrate completely on one movement, lasting a whole inhalation or a whole exhalation. You start coming back onto all fours and you come to up cat, then down cat, then plank, then down and up to cobra, and back to extended child's pose. And from here, coming up onto all fours as you inhale. And as you exhale, come up onto the balls of the feet. Come back to a half downward facing dog position. Lift the pelvis up towards the ceiling. Stay up on the tiptoes. And then begin to slowly bend one leg and the other, working your heels down towards the floor. Allow the head to dangle. And from here, slowly begin to walk forward with your feet. So you walk your feet towards your hands. At some point, you might need to lift the hands off the floor until eventually the feet are between the hands, knees bent. And then gently hold your elbows. Right hand holds left, left hand holds right elbow. And gently sway from side to side. Allow the weight of the head to drop down, the weight of the body. Just dangle there for a few breaths. And then from here, bring the hands onto the shins. Keeping the chin tucked in, slowly roll the hands up the front of the legs, rolling up through the spine, bringing the head up as the last thing. And you're in a standing position. Allow the arms to drop to the sides. And sun salutations. Come to the front of the mat. If you're not already there, bring the legs together. Remember I said if you want to continue doing variations kneeling, and that's better for you, then feel free to do that. But I'm going to talk you through standing sun salutations. So inhale, take the shoulders back, let the shoulder blades drop down the back, open the chest. Exhale, bring the palms of the hands together. Inhale, reach the arms up over the head. Exhale, swallow dive very slowly down to the floor. Relax the whole weight of the head, draw the chin to the chest. Inhale, right leg back, right knee down, gently looking up. Retain the breath, left leg back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Inhale, coming up to cobra. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, left knee down. Exhale, forward, head to knee. Inhale, arms up over the head. And exhale, arms to the side. Inhale, open the chest. On one, exhale, palms the hands together. On two, inhale, arms over the head. On three, exhale, swallow dive down to the floor. On four, inhale, left leg back, left knee down, looking up. Right leg back, plank, retain the breath. On six, exhale, down. Continue the movement, inhaling to cobra and exhaling to inverted V. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down, looking up. Exhale, right leg forward, fold. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, lower the arms to the side. Deep inhalation. On one, exhale. On two, inhale. On three, exhale. On four, inhale right. On five, retain the breath left. On six, exhale down. On seven, inhale cobra. On eight, exhale downward facing dog. On nine, inhale right foot forward, left knee down. 10, exhale left leg forward, head to knee. On 11, inhale. On 12, exhale. Inhale. On one, exhale, palms together. On two, inhale, arms overhead. On three, exhale down. On four, inhale, left leg back, left knee down, looking up. Retain the breath, right leg back. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. On seven, inhale to cobra. On eight, exhale to dog. On nine, inhale, left foot forward, right knee down. 10, right leg forward, head to knee. On 11, inhale up. On 12, exhale down. And then two choices here. Either separate the feet, soften the knees, close the eyes, and just rest here in a standing relaxed position. Or two more rounds of sun salutations in your own time. So you can go as fast or as slowly as you want to. I'll leave you lots of time to complete two rounds. When you finish, one going right, one going left, just come back to the same position as you started in, just resting with the knees bent and the eyes closed. And then from here, we're going to look at Tadasana, tall mountain pose, in a bit more detail. and finishing with a balance on the balls of the feet. So begin with the hands in Namaste, palms of the hands together and thumbs in the center of the sternum. And first thing is always to get grounded. The foundation of any standing posture or standing sequence is the feet. The only essential part is the feet. So your feet are big, snuggling down into the floor. Weight evenly distributed between the balls of the feet and the heels. Allow the weight of the body to sink into the feet and feel yourself being supported by the floor. With the legs together, bend the knees very slightly. I'm going to establish the alignment of your center in this position. So it's the same pelvic movement that you did in down cat. And to tilt the pelvis that way, you gently draw the pelvis back towards the navel. The navel back towards the spine. Drawing the navel back gently towards the spine. No need to tense the buttocks. Just repeat that movement a few times, releasing the navel, the tummy, and then drawing the navel back towards the spine. And notice with the buttocks relaxed how you get this very slight alignment, which makes your sacrum, the bottom part of the spine, more vertical. Your last alignment, and leave it there. So you've got the flattest sacrum, the most vertical sacrum you can get in this position. So you've established the alignment of your center. Now, without losing that alignment, gently press the legs almost straight again. Press straight down into the soles of the feet. Feel them merge with the floor. And imagine your energy moving down through the legs in the direction they're pointing. Tendency here is to hyperextend the legs by pressing the knees backwards, but make sure that you keep a micro bend so you can't do that. You're getting the alignment by pressing into the feet rather than pressing backwards into the knees, which is our natural instinct, or most people's natural instinct. Bring your awareness to the kneecaps and draw them up very slightly and very gently firm the thighs. Now another difficult little bit of sensitive alignment. You're going to move the thigh bones back as you press the tailbone very gently forward. Gently moving the thigh bones backwards as you press the tailbone right at the bottom of the coccyx, the coccyx right at the bottom of the spine. Forward. Now gently squeeze the legs together. So imagine they're merging as one. And keep that same leg line you established throughout what follows. The more you continue to stretch down through your legs and stay rooted, the more you'll be able to stretch upwards through the arms, which is what we're going to do next. So we've got the lower body grounded from the waist down, centered. Now keep the navel back towards the spine and elongate upwards from your center without moving your arms and your hands. Imagine you're stretching internally, as if you can internally elongate your core. So you're subtly creating more distance between the soles of the feet and the crown of the head. And now, without changing that alignment, keep the palms of the hands together and allow the arms to float up and rest in the same prayer position on top of your head. Make it feel as if the inhalation causes the movement, as if the arms are moving because you're inhaling. In this position, check that your elbows are back in line with your ears as much as possible, so that your forearms make a straight line, elbow to elbow. Relax the neck and shoulders. Now again, when you inhale, imagine the movement is only coming because you're breathing in slowly. Move your hands towards the ceiling, but not straight, about 2/3 of the way. And as you exhale, it may seem natural to draw your navel in slightly. Do that. And then come up a little bit higher with the hands. And with full awareness, repeat that process, reaffirming the alignment each time by drawing in the navel at the end of the exhalation. And keep going until the arms are straight over the head. You've still got that grounding through the legs and grounding through the feet. You are now in tall mountain pose. Change the hand position by clasping the hands together and turning them so the palms of the hands face up to the ceiling. Keep the same position with the rest of the body. Stay here, keeping the same alignment, lifting from the belly into the chest and the shoulders, and from the shoulders up into the elbows, and from the elbows, press the palms towards the ceiling. Squeeze the elbows together. Grow. So kind of imagine that you're dangling like a puppet, that someone's pulling you up by your hands, so that the full length of your body is increasing, and you're in that wonderful yoga moment of doing and not doing at the same time. Now the balance, if you want to do it. Nothing changes in your alignment apart from we're going to balance. So do this first. The next time you exhale, lean forward slightly until your heels come just off the floor. And then you lean forward a little bit more, and you keep repeating that process bit by bit with complete concentration. There is no hurry until you eventually come up onto the balls of the feet. You take your time, bit by bit, leaning forward and coming up onto the balls of the feet. And if you're comfortable here, you flow with your breath as you hold the balance. Inhaling, pressing the balls of the feet into the floor and rise higher. Exhale, drawing the navel back towards the spine and gently squeezing the legs together. Your legs feel strong, but they are supple and springy. Keep pressing down straight through the legs into the feet, not through the knees. If you've had to come down, come up again if you want to. Bring the pose to life with your breath. Continue to stretch up and down with each inhale and release up and down with each exhale. If you're finding this very easy, you can try closing your eyes. Try 3 more breaths. And when you finish, slowly lowering the heels down again. And then slowly down in your own way to the floor and back to the relaxation position. And it's the time of the class when we do shoulder stand. Or legs up the wall, if you have a wall to put them up. Otherwise, you just have the legs up in the air and the arms to the side, either side of the hips with the palms down. Your shoulder stand practice for the next 3 minutes in shoulder stand will be the maximum. And then 1 minute in plow. So when you're ready, coming up into shoulder stand. Are there any of the technical things we've done tonight that make sense in shoulder stand? So for example, the merging of the legs as we were doing in the standing posture. How about the extending out through the balls of the big toes? Does that change the leg line in shoulder stand? After standing and doing that, all those subtle adjustments on the legs before you came to shoulder stand, does shoulder stand feel different to how it normally feels? Just explore. And then from here, coming into plow, dropping the legs down over the head. Doing it one by one if you prefer. Adopting any variation of plow that you particularly like as another minute to do that. And then slowly coming up to shoulder stand. Do you have enough abdominal strength to lift the legs up straight without straining, or do you need to bend them? Back up to shoulder stand. Feel that merged leg line in shoulder stand with the legs gently squeezing together. And then either stepping over the bridge, and coming back up and stepping over the other way, or bring the arms onto the floor in front of you. Let the legs drop a little bit behind you. Bend them if you need to. Use your arms and your core strength to slowly lower you down into Shavasana. And gently exhale through the mouth. Let the breath go. Go to any areas that feel a little bit tight after shoulder stand, especially the obvious areas it's shoulder stand, so shoulders and neck, upper chest, and direct your breath to those areas of tightness if you identify them. And imagine you're exhaling softness and space and relaxation into those places. So using the power of your mind to tell those muscles to relax. And then stay here for the next minute if you feel happy here and everything is relaxed. If you feel you need to counterpose with fish, then feel free to do that. Or if you want to roll up and down to bridge, like we did at the beginning of the class, where the arms come over the head, you can do that as well. Or you can just stay there in Shavasana. And then bring the soles of the feet onto the floor, if they're not already there from doing bridge. Knees up. And the same twist we did at the beginning of the class to see, maybe you might remember how that felt, and this time might feel a bit different. Spine maybe looser. Bring the arms out level with the shoulders. The next time you exhale, let the knees drop to the right. And bring the left arm up over onto your right arm. Then inhale, open up as you turn your head across to the left. Your arm comes across the left. And exhale. Hold for 1 minute. Releasing into the twist a little more with each exhalation. And when you come to your next inhalation, bring the head back to the center first, and then bring the knees back to the center. And pause for a moment. Before you let your knees drop to the left, turn your head to the left. Bring the right arm up and over. And then that's your exhale. Inhale, glide your fingers along the inside the arm across the front of the chest and open up to your right, head looking right. Down your right arm. And slowly bring the head back to the center first, and then your knees. And when you're ready, bringing knees to chest, making out the movements you feel you need to, and coming down ready for final relaxation. So, in your final preferred position, and as you did at the beginning, feel where you're touching the floor in whatever position you're in, and consciously allow the weight of your body to sink down into the floor. Feel yourself rooted, planted. Be effortless in this position. Do less and less. Sinking, rooted, planted. And then starting from the floor, allow your awareness to float upwards from the back body towards the ceiling. Feel it come up slowly at a leisurely pace. And as your awareness floats slowly upwards, allow yourself to expand naturally into what feels like a new shape, a different shape. Just allowing all of this to happen, enjoying it. Making subtle, internal, intuitive alignment changes until your posture feels just perfect. Balanced between the back body rooted and planted and sinking, and the front body lifting and light and open. Be comfortable. It's like a fist. Your body tightly in a fist, unfolding. And how much easier that is to do after your practice when you're already orientated in the right direction for it to happen. Be still. Be motionless. The practice is being still without holding yourself still. Simply be so relaxed here that no movement occurs. Let there be no holding anywhere in the body. You're not going anywhere. You don't want to go anywhere. You're deliberately being where you are, here, with yourself, right here, where you are. And then very slowly begin to bring your awareness back to a more physical dimension. And become aware of where your body makes contact with the floor, again in a more basic way. And when you're ready, begin to work through the routine you normally go through to find your way up to a sitting position, stretching the arms out over the head, yawning if you want to. Any other movements that you want to, rolling onto your side when you're ready, coming up to a sitting position with the legs crossed when you're ready. And bringing the palms of the hands together to your heart center, the center of the chest, and to your forehead. Namaste.